and welcome. Thank you for tuning into the School Board Patriot podcast. I'm your host, Michelle Mandarin. Here, I will be discussing with you the happenings of the school board meetings here in Pasco County. Informing you of any actions taking place and anything happening in between. I know I haven't posted in a while, but I have a lot to talk about. I'm going to start off with a few announcements. So I'm going to be changing the name of my podcast. It's going to be I'm going to be changing it to the SB Patriot podcast. I'm not going to be solely focusing on the school board anymore. I'm going to be doing all sorts of news about stuff that is going to be happening in our county. Going to be interviewing candidates that are going to be running in this election and future elections and all sorts of stuff. So I'm pretty excited. Also, I'm going to update you guys on the interview with Jim Stanley. I'm going to be interviewing him this Friday, so please stay tuned. I know last time it didn't happen because something came up, but we will be for sure talking on Friday. So, all right, let's get into it. Let's talk about what happened this past school board meeting that happened on August 2nd. I'm going to start off with my concern that I had come to the board with as far as the human and growth and development. I'll be glad to say that the curriculum is posted on the Pasco district website. So I did look at it a little bit. First, I let them know that I was a little concerned that it's in fourth grade at all. And I know that they don't have any control over it because that's something from the state. But I told them about the instance that I had with my daughter in my personal life, and I didn't like that my daughter had been exposed to it, and that I was thankful for the parental bill of rights that we are required to opt in and opt out now. Another concern that I have is on in the fourth grade curriculum for the human and growth and development. There is a topic called family celebrations and memories. The learning objective is to demonstrate an understanding of at least 3 ways of how to treat others with dignity and respect. Demonstrate ways students can work together to promote dignity and respect for all people. It sounds really nice and stuff, but my main concern is that they're going to be creating some sort of honor flag that represents them in their unique ways or whatever. So the issue with this lesson is that it states here to give examples of books or movies and religious symbols. It also states to create a celebration or have special days to celebrate and honor different traditions and customs. I want to know what that looks like. What are the limits to this? Are we going to be able to discuss religion in school? Are we going to be able to share things about, say, like Christianity? Or I just want to know what that means, because I know there are a few people that would be concerned about this. Secondly, I didn't say this, but what does this lesson have anything to do with human growth and development? Everything else is about puberty, but this is about family celebrations and memories, and it's a group project. So if a parent wants to opt their child out of human and growth and development because they think their child is not ready to be exposed to things such as puberty and whatever, they're too young in fourth grade, but then they're going to be ousted from this lesson, which is about respect and respecting each other and having this fun activity of creating this poster with all sorts of symbols and whatever. So they're going to be ousted from this lesson, not when the parent possibly had no idea that this was going to be happening. So I thought that was a good question to I would like answered. So anyway, Kurt chimed in after that and stated that the opt-out option has always been in school, and I told him I already knew that, but I just wanted to share my experience with the past opt-out process. So then there was some talk about teacher autonomy, and that Kurt Browning had stated that teachers should stay within the state curriculum and be careful not to get out of the standards that are standard aligned, such as teacher for teacher and Pinterest, because he is concerned for student data privacy. Even though there are surveys through the equal opportunity schools that are sharing student data with third parties. Where's your concern in that? but whatever. What I had, what really concerned me though was when he said this, when he said that about aligning with curriculum or with the state standards and about being worried about student data privacy, he said, "You'll hear much more about that," which I don't know what that means, but that's what he said. He continued talking about how he's worried about teacher vacancies and for the workload that is coming on teachers. And then he touched on how August 23rd, there is an important vote, talking about the referendum, of course. Another thing that he spoke up on with the whole teacher vacancy thing is that he came across what he says is a tool where he can fill those vacancies more quickly. It's 101224. That's what he said. I don't know what that means. He said it is almost like an executive order, which it allows the superintendent to declare emergency so that he could fill those vacancies in a more lenient way. That he decided not to do it that day. He could have, he thought about it. But he was worried about the ramifications from Tallahassee. So that was a possibility. He could have declared this emergency, but he didn't. But he stated that it is not off the table. He kept reiterating that it's not off the table. So I would like you guys to be aware of this state of emergency that he might declare, and he might fill in vacancies, teacher vacancies, with God knows what or who. Yes, he said it relaxes the certification requirements, and he stated that if by the next meeting, if there is by the next meeting, if things are getting worse, which they will, he is going to probably declare this emergency and this executive order. So heads up for that, guys. So they had mentioned the Citizens Academy. I thought about applying, but I have so much workload on myself, I couldn't do it. Also, I thought I'd be rejected because of what I do. There are 159 applications and only 60 will be accepted, and they chose that number because they know in time it will decrease because people have busy lives and whatnot. And I'm hoping, just cross my fingers, that a lot of people from Pasco Watch are on there. Kurt Browning also talked about going to a summit of Impact Florida, and I wanted to touch on how I did a little digging about it. And Impact Florida uses a couple of tools. I think they work with Pasco County schools, and they use the Thomas B. Fordman Institution report to look at our state standards as far as our education goes. So I decided to look at the annual report. Here's the cover of the annual report for 2021 that they have on their website. Let you simmer on that. I also wanted to share with you guys what the president of this institute states. We entered the year with such promise, with miraculous vaccines, new political leadership in Washington, and an opportunity for greater national unity. Those hopes, however, were largely dashed thanks to January 6th, vaccine resistance, and the never-ending, if always shape-shifting culture. So it was that 2021 went out amidst another deadly COVID wave, new talk of shutdowns, and Americans feeling glum and pessimistic about the state of our country. So I'll let you simmer on that, of what you think the president of this institute thinks. I did go over the report, and they think they support Common Core. This report was funded by, guess who? The Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, though they state that they have no correlation with it or with them. And they think that the state standards are weak and that they are hopeful for the next governor to fix them. So I'll let you make up your own decision of what you think of Impact Florida, because that's who they work with. So the teachers are going to be having parental bill of rights training. They're going to start to utilize the half days for that, kind of like they did for SEL last year. And so Kurt said that so we can be a better district every year. And then another interesting thing that I saw was that Cynthia serves, and I'm sure you guys know this, but Cynthia Armstrong serves on the Financial Oversight Committee. They kept reiterating how they're very well organized and very insightful, and that they're have a huge importance. So I thought they kept touching on this because, they want to seem though as though they're fiscally responsible and financially responsible for obvious reasons. I also wanted to talk about how Alan Altman chimed in. He hardly ever talks, so I thought it was really interesting that he decided to put his 2 cents. He was talking about how the state of the nation is as far as teacher vacancies. He wanted to make a statement about how this issue is statewide and not nationwide, not just specific to Pasco County. And I think to myself, I wonder why. I believe it's because our teachers are realizing how things are going. Our parents are realizing how things have been going. They see the writing on the wall. They see there is corruption. They are being restricted. Teachers are being restricted. They are not being supported by the administration. Kids are not being disciplined in school. Their right to assign referrals are taken away. I just feel like the district's not supporting teachers. The discipline is out the window. Their flexibility for teaching is diminishing. Why would you stay in a job that you went into for the creativity of it, for being able to actually teach? Why would you want to be a teacher and not be able to teach? So they did a survey, a 1-day response survey of the breakdown of the staffing shortage, and that Tampa seems to be more impacted than the rest of the state. And they kept stating something about our growth and that the prices of our homes are rising. And that Pasco is an odd place based off of salary because our surrounding counties pay more. And so Alice asked, as far as the emergency potential goes, she was wondering if increasing the classroom was possible, but they kept saying something about classroom size penalties. So they would investigate different options as far as class size. But Kurt reiterated that they're not trying to increase the sizes of the classrooms. Colleen went on into praising the teachers and community members for supporting the referendum and for raising teacher and staff salary. Again, I think it's pretty unprofessional for them to keep bringing up this referendum on every single board meeting, this past couple board meetings. She stated also that there's not just a teacher shortage, but a shortage of teachers who are willing to teach because of the lack of respect of the profession. Again, she's not wrong. There is a lack of the profession, but not from just us. The district doesn't support the teachers. They also touched on something about, and then Cynthia Armstrong also talked about receiving a call from a retired teacher, and that it was such a great to hear that this retired teacher had a daughter who was also in teaching, but she was upset to hear that the retired teacher is trying to get her daughter to get out of teaching, which is a shame. And I don't believe it's about money or pay if a family member is trying to get their own family out of a job. Allison Crumbly had stated that she had talked to many teachers and had come to the realization that the number one reason that teachers and staff are leaving or considering leaving is due to discipline. We have 2 candidates that I interviewed, Matt Geiger and Steve Meisman, who both had brought up that problem. They knew exactly that the school needs to update their discipline. Kids are being let loose. Teachers are not given the opportunities to give discipline to children or to the students. But they keep going back to this referendum thing. That it's not only about the pay. She said it, that the reason teachers are leaving or considering leaving is because of the lack of discipline. And then Kirk chimes in, says that it's the parents' fault. You can go back and look. He says, parents need to teach their kids how to behave in school. K through 12. They all need to teach their kids how to behave. So it has nothing to do with the fact that you're not supporting teachers. Okay. But again, it's number one reason, discipline. So let's fix it. Now, I know he reiterated that last school year, he made a policy that if you have one level 3 offense, you're expelled. And he's going to re-implement that this year. He says it works, but why do you have to wait up until the point where kids are hurting each other to do something about it? That's not a solution. So, I also wanted to bring up the fact that Kurt Browning, almost the past couple of meetings, for sure, the past couple of meetings, he keeps ending. I'm talking about after the cameras are off. He kept saying, "Oh, I'd like to end the meeting on a good note, on a positive note." That's the problem. Instead of focusing on fixing issues, he likes to ignore them and pat himself on the back. The board likes to pat themselves on the back instead of actually, focusing on a problem that needs to be resolved. No one will look down on you, and it shouldn't be a bad thing to find an issue. It should be celebrated. Because then you can fix it. Then you can focus on your energy on that to resolve the issue. I just think that it's very unprofessional to want to only end the meeting on a positive note instead of actually really thinking about the problems and issues that are occurring. Because if you ignore it and only focus on the positive things, then how can you get anything good done? So I wanted to share an interesting article that I saw last week. It came out on the 5th. It states Florida school board member brags about members being woke. We're working from the inside. It says here in the state of Florida, there are school board members that are woke. Edwards, speaking at Wednesday's Support Our Schools event, proudly declared, "We are here. We are working to have your back. You need to know we have your backs," he continued, bragging about how woke school board members are working from the inside to advance these radical left agendas. And we're working in the best strategic spot because we're on the inside working from the inside. And it's from my point of view, I've spent not quite 2 years to earn credibility and to earn trust. This is a long, slow process, but I'm not the only one in the state of Florida, Edwards continued, asserting that there are coalitions formed to protect. He continued, seemingly lamenting that too many teachers and administrators and the machinery have accepted all these pro-student and pro-parent standards embraced by the DeSantis administration. However, he said school board members such as himself are not accepting it anymore. Okay, so DeSantis-backed school board member Bridget Seigler stated, Tom Edwards and radical liberal activists push a narrative blaming parents for the heated tone at school board meetings, claiming that indoctrination isn't happening, and call frustrated parents who are fighting to protect their children domestic terrorists, she said. He and his radical activists proclaim to be part of the moderate majority in an attempt to fool the public. Meanwhile, he's out there boasting about being woke, being strategic, and working on the inside to form coalitions to advance his woke agenda, she added. When you get up there and you are elected, you are automatically part of this association, and they tell you that your job is to support the superintendent. It's not about protecting, supporting, representing taxpayers or focus on financial stewardship, or it is very much about no dissenting, very much groupthink. Get in line, she said. It's largely based on indoctrinated local policy officials all the way down to professional development given to the educators, and that trickles down to indoctrinating our students with very left progressive agendas, she continued. So I thought this article was very interesting because it sounds a lot like our school board. And we had a talk with Gus Bilirakis today, and he said the very same thing, like not based off this article, but when we told him what was happening in Pasco, he said, well, it's happening everywhere, I've come to find out. And I think it's because parents are waking up. Parents are realizing what's happening. They see these radical ideas being pushed into the schools. And I'm very glad that people are pushing back. But if you think that this isn't happening in Pasco, then you're mistaken. It is. I mean, just look at the email from Kurt to one of his administrators stating that when Megan first came onto the board, he stated that she needed training and she needed to learn how things worked. What does that even mean? I also wanted to share some good news. Epoch Times had shared this as well, but there was a hearing that happened. If you guys remember Rebecca and her daughter being ousted because of the policy 5120. Well, things are in the workings of hopefully getting that policy removed. things are looking good and it's very exciting. So if you guys want to check it out, on the epochtime.com, superintendent ousts children from the school after Florida mom asserts parental rights. It's pretty awesome. The article read awesome. So check it out, guys. Last but not least, I wanted to announce that I have become the #1 bestseller on Amazon for my book, The World Class Education. So I guess check it out on Amazon. If you want, buy the Kindle version, 99 cents, and take a look. All right, folks, I hope you have a wonderful week. There's going to be a school board meeting on the 30th. I'm going to attend. You guys want to attend? Please attend. Would really like to see some new faces, meet some new people. Also, if you guys want to have any questions, comments, concerns, want me to look into anything, my email is pascosbppodcast@gmail.com. Email me. All right, folks, have a wonderful day. Bye.